A client recently said, my grandfather started a German hardware company. It's up in Ohio. It still exists. And he goes, our slogan was, if we don't sell it, you don't need it. And I was like, that's what I believe.
Okay.
And I believe that right now in the mortgage and real estate space, you have a lot of third-party gurus that want to teach realtors and lenders how to sell, but they haven't been in it. The reason why it all evolved for me was I was always fascinated with like the Cutco knives, the Anderson windows, anybody who, I love Discount Tire.
Yeah.
You go into Discount Tire, they meet you out front.
They are the best.
Anybody's business could be that way if you kind of reverse engineer. I sell a product, I take people through a process, and if I do that well, then I'll have repeat clients, I'll have advocates, I can build a business.
Welcome to Well Coached, a podcast about how people, sales, profit, and self can transform your business. I'm your host, Chris Weinberg, and I have helped hundreds of entrepreneurs get into their highest productivity zone and become corporate enough to succeed. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to the Well Coached podcast, where we explore stories about building businesses and leadership and all that good stuff here. I'm your host, Chris Weinberg, and today's guest is someone who not only helps people buy homes, but he also helps lenders grow their own business. He's full of wisdom and experience and has been a good friend to me and has navigated me through some purchases as well, and navigated several of my friends and clients through stuff, and he is my absolute trusted advisor in this area. Brendon is a Nashville-based mortgage expert and business builder, founder of the Smart Start program, and most recently an author of Never Sell Your First Home, which I can't wait to talk about. It's a practical guide of turning your first house into a long-term financial asset. And I wish I would have had him around many years ago when I bought my first home. Maybe I would still own it. Beyond helping clients, he now coaches other mortgage professionals, shares his tools, his systems, and mindset to become competitive and lasting in an industry that is ever-changing and highly, highly competitive. So we're going to explore his entrepreneurial journey, what it takes to build a strong team, and his approach to sales and strategy. We'll do this all through the lens of our typical people, sales, profit, and self. So with that, my friend, Brendon, welcome to the show.
God, I love that intro.
That's pretty good, right?
Man, you're good at that.
Well, good. Well,
I'm going to keep that and use that in the future.
You should. You make it easy. Tell us, we'll start in the people side. We'll do the people, sales, profit, self thing. Let's go a few questions in the people. Tell us about Smart Start. How did that team come to be? What was it like in the beginning days, and what's it looking like now?
Gotcha. That's a great question. The Smart Start, remember the cereal, Kellogg's cereal? So in 97, my cousin got me in the mortgage business.
Okay.
And he had said, hey, we're going to do something a little different. We worked with this company called By Referral Only, and By Referral Only is still around. He's the OG guy that started that is a guy named Joe Stump. And Joe he taught about presentation. He taught about, hey, how do you create a business that is truly by referral only? Well, it starts with the upfront presentation. Go back to like Cutco knives.
Right.
Like when you meet a Cutco knife kid, he's in your kitchen.
Yep.
He's got scissors. He's got the knife. He asks you for your knife, your sharpest knife. He gets out a piece of paper. He gets out a penny. He has a list of referrals that's blank. And then you go through this presentation. You typically buy something, and then he or she says,
I own Cutco knives.
Yeah, I do too. And then he says, hey, Chris, could you do me a favor? Like, this neighborhood's really nice where you live. It's God, Duncan, this is such a shackle for, this is so beautiful. We're in this contest, and my boss is kind of one of those guys that wants all of us to win. So I was just wondering if you could write down, 11 names of neighbors and people that drive nice cars like you that might be interested in these knives. And you haven't even bought yet.
Right.
Like, so they're already building a referral. So Joe Stump, By Referral Only, it was a realtor lender program. I drank the Kool-Aid right out of the gate. First time I saw him was in 96 at like a hotel. Made me die laughing, like comes in and there's 50 people in the room, and it was a free event. And he was mic'd up, and it was almost like stand-up comedy meets this guy with so much charisma with amazing stories. And then you're like, duh, I don't even need a database if I do it right. Like if I do it right, if I present well and program a product and a process, and both of them are good, the client becomes an advocate, and an advocate refers me to people. Those are the rules, Chris.
Right.
When you're an advocate, you refer me to me.
Right.
So that's how I was like, man, this is beautiful. So flash forward, me and my cousin started Smart Start as an idea. And then that was the name of the meeting. And then the tools along the way, I did a training about 1.5 years ago where I had to go back and like chart all the tools that were created. Some of them copied. We couldn't find who the creator was, so we haven't given credit. There's one still missing. It's our All About You form, which we have at the beginning. And that it's literally like when you go to the doctor, and anybody could use this in any business. What are you wanting to learn today? And then have as many boxes at the top in whatever you do. Like example, if you build pools, what are you wanting to learn from me today about pools? And then fill out the 50, check all that apply. You sell plants. So that came to me from a doctor's office. The original All About You form was a guy, I think, in Scottsdale. And I called him and he said, I didn't invent it. And he's out of the business. But it was really just like, Chris, what's your favorite restaurant? What's your name of kids, dogs? It was literally like a personal form that he would have, or whoever invented it, fill out in the lobby. Mine was like, well, wait a minute. I don't know how to relate to clients with just fluffy stuff. And they're coming to me for a review of, hey, I want to buy real estate, or I want to do this transaction. So I kind of wanted to go, well, when you go to a doctor, you tell the people out front everything that hurts.
Yeah.
And then tell me a little bit about how you think about money. Now, for me, I'm selling mortgages. It's nice to know, do they have a planner, an accountant? The question, it says, do you have anyone else assisting you with your money decision?
Okay.
Yes or no. And if yes, describe. If it's yes, it's always my mom, my dad, my Uncle Fred. Well, that question came into the presentation about 3 years ago. The reason why, when people would check no to everything, I'd have the whole meeting. And then I'd say, how did it go? Was this helpful? And they're like, yeah, but I've got to run everything by Uncle Fred.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Right.
And so long story short, the All About You, the Smart Start has evolved. My cousin helped me start it. My business partner, Dino, with our coaching company, The Ultimate Business Partner, we've kind of evolved and worked into a model that's truly like, hey, if you're a mortgage person, first month in the business, or if you're kind of burned out, instead of just using software or there's a couple people in our industry that aren't originators that sell a lot of product to originators. And I'm like, a client recently said, my grandfather started a German hardware company. It's up in Ohio. It still exists. And he goes, our slogan was, if we don't sell it, you don't need it. And I was like, that's what I believe.
Okay.
And I believe that right now in the mortgage and real estate space, you have a lot of third-party gurus that want to teach realtors and lenders how to sell, but they haven't been in it. And now I'm not saying that you can't do that, but it's really hard when I see the stuff that's being sold as like one person sells all about understanding interest rates. By the way, none of us understand interest rates. If we did, we'd be bond traders. So I don't think that that's important in a presentation until it comes down to, okay, Chris, here's your credit score. Here's what you guys are putting down. You're doing an investment then it's important to disclose. But like, kind of goes back to the reason why it all evolved for me was I was always fascinated with like the Cutco knives, the Anderson windows, anybody who, I love Discount Tire.
Yeah.
You go into Discount Tire, they meet you out front.
They are the best.
Oh my God. Like they have 500 or 800 stores. Yeah. I go in there, I could just sit there and work in Discount Tire all day, just going, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I love dentists. Like you show up to a dentist's office, you're out there and then the best, Dr. Pittman, my dentist, amazing. He comes in and he's got, 12 people and he just goes down the line and everybody's happy. It's surgical.
Right.
Anybody's business could be that way if you kind of reverse engineer. I sell a product, I take people through a process, and if I do that well, then I'll have repeat clients, I'll have advocates, I can build a business. And, hey, controversial thing, Tesla doesn't really advertise.
Right.
It's a great product.
Yeah.
I got one for my oldest son.
Yeah.
And that company blows me away because the product is so amazing. And when we bought it, the process was almost seamless.
Right.
So I'm sitting there going, we can throw political stones and,
Yeah.
hey, he's a little bit crazy,
Yeah.
but that product is amazing.
Right.
And he has 0 ads on TV. He doesn't have car salesmen.
Mhm.
You just show up and you stand in a line and you're like,
Checks and boxes.
I'm ready to buy.
That's right. That's right. That's amazing.
So that's a 7-minute answer to question 1.
Well, that's okay. How do you find the right team members to fit into that mindset?
God, I struggle.
Yeah.
My wife says you're not the destination. You're just part of the journey. I've trained a lot of young guys that have learned, used our tools. Some still with me, some move on and start their own thing.
Yeah.
Training.
What are you looking for then? What do you?
I always look for like determination, a good attitude, someone that to me is hungry and that says, okay, I want to learn this business. And the biggest thing for us is the ground up, because in our space, you have crystallized knowledge, Chris, in coaching and helping entrepreneurs through your life experiences. In mortgages, like truly getting a loan approval is like being an attorney. You got to know the rules as good as the judge. And then when you take your client into the courtroom for the loan approval, like having lots of at-bats, knowing the guidelines, knowing how to present is critical. So anybody who's really wants to be in my space, like a loan originator, I think they need to be a loan assistant and kind of working with processors and doing the paperwork and the grunt work to learn.
You got to get the reps in.
Yeah, you got to get the reps in. And if you're the person like, dude, I'm an amazing salesman. I was a baseball player in college. Like, dude, I'm just going to call on realtors and call on builders and be awesome at this. Well, then you become the promise person. You can generate some leads for a while, but like when deals are blowing up and you've made these promises, that foundation of being a good, back to my analogy, an attorney, you got to be the paralegal. You got to go to law school. Yeah. And I think that takes 18 months, 2 years.
Okay.
And then just finding that person that's willing to do those at-bats. I think I could probably list 20 to 30 that we've created along the way, maybe 100 across the country that I've coached. But those were already loan officers that were seeking how to better their business. Smart Start for me locally is really trying to find those. It's so funny you asked this question because I got a guy at MTSU who's got one more year. Former loan officer that worked with me awesome kid. I call him a kid. He's maybe 27. He said, hey, I don't have capacity. This guy's really good. He wants to get in the space. Can you guys meet? Text this morning. So I'll meet him next week. He's in summer. Yeah. I'll just try to figure that out. And I think the biggest, probably one of my biggest blind spots is I just want to help everybody.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that gets me into trouble where it's like, wait a minute. 90 days in, this isn't working out.
Yeah.
Like you're not the person. And I normally have my team is feeling it.
Okay. They probably feel it before you feel it.
Oh, well, true story. Yeah. I had this guy and he's now a realtor here locally. Great guy. He was a relo. He had been a realtor and then he worked at a mortgage company. I met him at an open house for a realtor, one of Katie's open houses. So I'm in there. It's for like brokers. This guy walks in. I thought he was a realtor. We start talking. He's like, I'm a lender. I was like, how long? He's like, 3 months. I go, dude, you don't know your elbow from your ear hole. And he's like, I don't. And I said, what'd you do before? He goes, I was a realtor. And I said, well, who are you working for? He was working for a company out of Connecticut, like remote 3-month.
Right.
We hired him.
Okay.
Within 2 weeks, he was asleep in a training with some of my guys, literally asleep. And my ops manager goes, Brendon, hey, We'll keep him nameless in case he's listening. I love him, but he was like, dude, this isn't going to work. And I was like, and I brought him in and it was we were shoulder to shoulder and I was looking at the laptop. I was like, hey man, this isn't working out. Yeah. So I don't have the formula. Yeah. I think it's grit, determination, grind. How do you test for that? I know you're a huge disc guy.
Yeah.
There's some new thing. It's not new. Culture index.
Yeah. That's not new.
Yeah, I mean
it's a disc competitor.
Yeah, and that's one that I've done some culture index things, and it's like here's how they'll behave.
Yeah,
I'm not an expert. I'm actually probably like I'm what's the blind the 50 dates, 50 first dates movie. Right. I'm that guy. I get amnesia. I get excited.
Yeah. You want to see the best in everybody, and your disc profile's probably got a lot of I sitting in it, and so you just want to believe the best in everybody. And,
100. That's what my wife's like, dude. You believe in people too much.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There could be worse things.
Yes.
Right. There could be worse things than that. Hey team, are you looking to elevate your golf game year-round? Nashville City Golf, located within the Nashville City Club at 200 2nd Avenue South, offers a premier indoor golfing experience right in the heart of downtown. With over 350 real-world courses available on state-of-the-art TrackMan IO simulators, you can challenge yourself on some of the world's most renowned fairways without leaving the city. Whether you're a seasoned golfer or just starting out, our facility caters to all skill levels. Features of the club include TrackMan IO performance tracking, an adjustable swing stage, indoor putting, and great upscale lounge and food and beverage, as well as PGA instruction right on site. Nashville City Golf isn't just about swinging a club, it's about experiencing a revolution in golf practice and entertainment. Our cutting-edge features elevate your game and create an unforgettable experience. We offer flexible membership options to suit your needs, as well as booking for individual sessions. Ready to tee off? Visit NashvilleCityGolf.com to learn more about memberships, book a session, or schedule a lesson with one of our PGA instructors. Elevate your game at Nashville City Golf, where the best of golf meets the best of Nashville. Let's talk about the revenue generating activity a little bit. What are the most effective ways? I think I know this from you, but most effective ways of attracting and retaining great clients? Because to the average person, just like most of us, you're in a commodity business,
Sure.
but you've made it to where it's not that.
Yeah.
How have you pulled that off?
Well, it kind of goes back to presentation.
Yep.
If you value what you present, and you think about it this way, if your business, whoever's listening, if your business, okay, people are making a big financial decision. So it could be a complex sale that you sell. Mm-hmm. In that complex sale, it involves other things. So, hey, someone wants a mortgage, they're buying a house, but like my thing, okay, I have to look at your credit. I have to look at your income. I have to look at your assets. I have to I get your DNA right away. It's pretty scary coming in. You have to trust me
immediately.
And so I try to make that initial discovery meeting a consultative meeting.
Okay.
Is that going, hey, let's not talk about the commodity, the product? No, you have to. Back to my pool, you're selling a pool, but the process of building the pool, how that person makes the decision, guiding them in that, knowing what the competitors do and don't do, all of these things are necessary to say, okay, there's a product and there's a process, and I want to talk to you about both. Sometimes the process is equally, if not more important than the product.
Yeah.
And you might think this in your coaching business where you're like, dude, how I get them to say yes to the idea of what I think they should be doing is more important than the doing part. Mm-hmm. You got to massage your way around the process of getting them there to where they're like, Chris, this is amazing. I made 10 phone calls and I doubled my business.
Right.
You're a genius. Well, thank you. And it's like, well, the process to get them there was your skill.
Right.
There's a commodity world of coaching. They're everywhere on the Instagram. Yeah. Here, fill out my dumb form and get this cheat sheet to millions. Point being is that the process of making your business less a commodity is maybe immediately addressing that and letting people know they could get a loan anywhere. They could get your product anywhere. Mm-hmm. So let's put the product aside. You could say it that way. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about the process and you and what's important to you. Mm-hmm. And if there's a book called Values-Based Selling. It's on my bookshelf. I was moving it around the other day because we were taking some pictures, some upgraded shots in our office. And it's a book written for financial advisors by a guy named Bill Bachrach. Mm-hmm. It was written in the 90s. By the way, Joe Stump, that was the first book I heard out of his mouth. Values-based selling, blah. And I was like, I got to get that. So it's written for financial planners.
Okay.
The question is, what's important to you about your money, Chris? That's the question. That starts everything. That's a values-based meeting. In the book, it says if the client can't answer and you can't ask, well, what's important about that? How come this? You could use why, but why is a little bit accusatory in your probing, but it's what, or how, tell me more. Mm-hmm. If you can't get deeper into their importance about money as a financial planner, being a values-based planner, fire them.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to want to know rate of return,
right?
What are your fees, this, that, and the other. So I was like, well, a realtor could use this book. A lender could use this book. what's important to you about coaching? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's anything that you sell is the what's important about coffee to you.
Yeah.
What's important about a watch to you.
How do you teach your young people that stuff? Are you walking them through that kind of stuff? Or
that's EQ.
Yeah.
That's EQ, and it's.
Are you using any EQ assessments for your people or not? Are you using any of that stuff?
It's. I need to.
Yeah.
I have access to the
culture index.
Culture index.
Yeah.
I try to give people. Here's my read list: values-based selling, never split the difference. Chris Voss. The 4 Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz.
Yeah.
I like Atomic Habits.
Okay.
It's a good book. And then I probably got a couple more in there that I'll remember in a minute. That, the 4 Agreements is like, don't take things personally.
Right.
And don't make assumptions.
Right.
And always do your best. And there's the 4th agreement. Oh, God, we'll remember here.
I can't remember it. Oh, my
Don't make
God.
assumptions. Don't take things personally. Always do your best and be impeccable with your word.
That's right.
And so I think that's like when you talk about EQ,
a lot of it's wrapped up right there.
Yeah, I mean
that's wrapped up right there.
Yeah, that is it. And you can't. I got 3 boys. One naturally is a connector.
Okay.
He'd come in here and be right there and be like, "Hey, man, this guy's a coach. Like, this is cool. Hey, he'd notice things and ask you questions, and you'd be like, that kid gets it. He drives me nuts.
Right.
But sometimes it's innate. I believe there's the book, The Challenger Sale.
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard of that book?
Nope.
God, such a great book. It was a study done with 500 companies that sell complex products. And it was, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but it's data. It was done from like 05 to 08. And they eventually said in the top 20% of salespeople, they categorized them into 5 types. The challenger, the lone wolf, the problem solver, I think it's like, I want to be your friend. And then there was one other. And they basically said, here are the top 3 traits of the top salespeople. And by far, the landslide winner was the challenger. And the challenger's traits are unique. The one that's like, I want to be your friend, are unique. Before they revealed, they told the 5 types of salespeople, they brought all the people that paid for the study, the 500 companies, they brought the CEOs in and they said, here are the 5 types of best salespeople. Here are the 3 bullet points. Pick one to run your sales force. 90% of the CEOs picked the friend one. The friend one out of the 5 performed the worst in a complex sale. So I think that full circle to teach EQ, that book says you can create challengers. It was the relationship builder. That was the 5th one. Here's the point. Can you teach people to connect? Well, and to listen. You can, and that book really says, hey, and this is the ready, crack the egg. The challenger innately believes that their client doesn't know what they want. And so when I read the book and I was at like the 3rd chapter and it says the challenger, and I read the first paragraph, I was like, that's all. None of my clients know what they want. And I know that.
Right.
And I don't care if they have a $3 million home or a $300,000. I know they don't know what they want. So I don't ask them what they want their mortgage payment to be because I know they have no clue.
Right.
Here's why, all the research.
That's very similar to when I approach folks. They think they know what they want, but they have no idea. They have no idea.
You're a challenger.
Yeah, they have no idea.
Well, you probably have, when you should read the book because it's data driven. And then it's really about how you change behavior and can you create a culture around the challenger? Because it's not like the idea around a challenger isn't, hey, Chris, I'm going to come in and poke your client and tell them they're wrong. No, that's not it at all. It's you've got to like reveal to them that they are kind of confused about what they want. That's why they came to see you.
Right.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
And then you're crafting solutions, not necessarily around like something to please them. You're almost in this mode of, it sounds to me, it feels like, it seems like you've made, all these words in Challenger Sale. And there's a book called Exactly What to Say by Phil Jones. Great book. And it's just a psychology book on word choices that are better than others. But to me, the challenger says politely, it sounds like you're confused. And hey, when I see people like you buying this pool, getting coached, here's what happens. So what my system does is this. Would you be open-minded to seeing what I can show you?
Yeah.
And then I think that's that polite entry into whatever sale you have, that people are now like, hey, this guy or this gal, they're not selling me right now. They're kind of telling me.
Mm-hmm.
And I either I am confused. So I'm going to lean in and I'm going to, okay, this is, and then I think you don't ever want to close somebody on coaching. You want them to go, why wouldn't I? Like, Chris, what do we do next?
I'm normally trying to talk people out of it.
Right. There you go. And that's where I say I'm a dream killer
That's
sometimes
right.
in my job. I'm going to kill your dream today. You want to build your custom home. You're not ready.
Right.
Well,
to your point about for folks out there listening, that we know we follow the DISC profile a lot, and oversimplification, we'll ask the same thing. In DISC, which do you think of the D, I, S, and C? Who do you think the best salesperson would be? Everyone chooses I because that's the friend switch, and it's dead wrong.
Yeah.
I's oftentimes, it doesn't mean they can't be great salespeople, but it's not natural. They're more interested in being buddies than delivering the right value or the right challenging aspects or things like that. And how we pair that with EQ is learnable. You can go after it. You can improve their skills there. So it's good. It sounds like that book is pretty parallel with a lot of EQ principles and even some DISC principles in there.
Yeah, and I think you get somebody who, when you're saying teach it, there's nothing like a commission job where like if you fail, you didn't get paid.
Yeah.
And then the best people are going to respond to that failure. What did I do?
Yeah.
This person's not calling me back. Was I too pushy? I don't know. And to me, reading books, getting feedback, really having people sit in. I would imagine that Cutco Knives, back to Cutco, they get the kid and they say, hey, this guy Ron over here, he's a senior in college. He's been selling Cutco for 4 years. Follow him on the next 20 appointments.
Yeah.
And then Fred, who's a freshman in college, is like, dude, Ron's the legend.
Right.
He got 220 referrals last month.
Yeah.
He sold 7,000 in knives.
Yeah.
And he sits in and he watches the presentation. Right?
That's amazing. Yeah.
You're smiling. Chris is smiling. Why?
I have Cutco knives, man, because of those presentations. I love the product. And even when they have a shtick going on, they're so good at it that you're like, I need these.
By the way, has Cutco come into your brain before this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Someone's noticed the presentation. Okay, cool. So I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one. They're a legendary company that it's so weird because people kind of make fun of them and then own them. I mean, they have a great product. And they wind those kids up and out they go. And they probably have a massive amount of turnover, but those few that can stick it out and get their stick down,
sure.
They can make a lot of money.
If you think about it, it might be in the model that like, hey, these kids sell to their parents, their parents' friends, and that's enough for us.
That's right.
And if they make some money over the college summer and they get the presentation down and the knives are guaranteed, like you can call and get your scissors replaced because they're made in America.
That's right.
Then everybody wins.
Yeah.
And they're expensive too.
That's right. They are not cheap. Let's talk about your book.
Sure.
Yes, Never Sell Your First Home. What a great title. I mean, I love titles that call it what it is, right? And one of my early mentors in business said, whatever business you ever start, don't make people guess what you're doing. And that title just says
well coached. Love it.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Because so many coaches call it after their own name or whatever. I don't have that kind of ego, I don't think, anyway.
Weinberg Central.
But that's normally what it is, right? I want to call it what it is, man.
Right.
Well coached. And same with your book, Never Sell Your First Home. Talk about that book a little bit. What made you do it? What's the purpose of it? How's it being received? Who's the target? All that stuff.
What made me do it? So I was in meeting number 4,000 when pulled credit report and, clients like, 123 Oak Street in Vienna, Virginia. And I'm like, oh yeah, when'd you live there? And they're like, oh, we should have never sold that place. I mean, it's only worth $1 million now. We bought it for 90,000.
Right.
So, and then my common reply every time they said we should have never sold our first home, I would say the same thing. I should have never sold mine. I moved from Alexandria, Virginia. My wife and I were under contract on a Pulte townhome in Old Town Alexandria in end of 97. We closed, middle of 97. We were under contract for 5 months. They were building it. They had raised prices like 3 times. Then we closed in November of 97 or 98. I'm getting my years messed up. We moved to Nashville in the summer of 99. So we really owned the home for like 6 months, but we'd been under contract for a year. Well, it'd gone up $40,000. I decided at that point that we were moving here, and I just made the split decision to sell it. Well, I was still doing mortgages in Virginia. I had a Virginia cell phone and I got a Tennessee cell phone. So I was one of those 2 cell phone guys. I didn't tell anybody I'd left. I'm still helping people in the neighborhood. And I'm like, hey, wait, what's the townhome worth? And they're like, oh, it's $350. I bought it for $209, sold it for $245. I write about it in the book in the beginning. The first line says, hey, never sell your first home. I did. Why trust me? I wrote it because I had sold mine and regretted it. Clients talked about it. And then the idea was, okay, there's a lot of types of people that this book is for. So we kind of wrote it that way, saying, hey, you're the person who got this book because I didn't have that resource. You might have not had that resource. I can't talk to a million people at once. And the meetings that I was having about making that decision, the same stuff was being said every single time. So I started to say to myself, I got to write a book one day called Never Sell Your First Home. And then the guide is how to turn your current home into your first investment property or we called it your next best investment, which truly the principles of the book still hold. Like not every home you keep, if it's your first, some are terrible or the neighborhood's awful, it's gone to hell. But like the average first home was good enough. We talk about that in the book for you to buy and move your family in. So then all these qualities are there. When you're ready to leave that home, your brain is moving on to bigger, nicer neighborhood. You're not thinking the way you did 4 or 5 years earlier that this was perfect for you.
Right.
And then the business part, like, wait a minute, I have a loan set up. It's at 4%. I've got all this equity. The only way I can buy my next home is to sell and get the equity. Well, that's what the book's about. Like, if you don't want to do that, how do you create that little jigsaw puzzle, the bridge to get you to the next one? And then that big decision, like, what's it like to be a landlord? And so I kind of, when I wrote the book, I was at an Airbnb and I write about it in the book, in Boston. I was 2 blocks from my college roommate's first home. He kept it for 4 years after he moved out of it, and then he eventually sold it. He sold it. He bought it for like $375. He sold it for like $5 something. Or $595. The thing's worth like $1.8 million now. It's right there by the Boston Garden in Charleston, Mass.
Wow.
Right? A gorgeous little walk up. But point being is that anything, 25 years ago went up major. But that's when I started writing the book. I wrote the foreword, and then I literally on the plane was like, okay, here are the chapters. And then I started writing them. And I wrote the book. Like I wrote the whole book, this whole, hey, have somebody, AI, write me a book that's 112 pages on coaching clients.
Right.
Oh, garbage, right? Or if you've written a book and you're listening and you wrote the book, congratulations. If you're thinking about writing a book and you're good at what you do and you're listening and you hire somebody to write the book, go jump in a lake.
Yeah.
Please go jump in a lake right now. And don't write the book with somebody else. Do it yourself and then get an editor. Just found out yesterday, my editor died of cancer.
Oh.
God, he was such a nice, Greg Webster. God, he was such an awesome man.
Oh.
And long story short, he was amazing because he read the whole thing and he was like, Brendon, this is awesome, but I'm confused in a lot of areas. And then he helped me like, what are you trying to say here? So if you're at that crossroad, the book is for you, like you own your current home. If you're a first-time home buyer and you want to just read about kind of real estate, it's a great book because we talk about acquiring your first home and all the ingredients. If you're a financial planner, it's written for you because, hey, that first home, a lot of your clients or their next home, they kind of want to keep it. You're managing assets over here, but they've got this, hey, they refied in 2021. They've got a 2.7% interest rate.
You better not get rid of it.
Well, and it's in a great neighborhood and they want to upgrade and they could rent the damn thing for $6,000 and their mortgage payments too. Yeah. Well, let's figure it out.
Okay.
And And then the last one was...
And that really is, people do not think that way because they're not trained to think that way,
correct.
Right? So they hit panic mode. How am I going to get to this next thing?
Well, and this isn't...
I think with my last house, you talked me into keeping my...
your condo?
One. Yeah.
Did you sell it eventually?
No, dude, I kept it. I kept it. I've got great renters in there. It's amazing.
Well, you just said
and we debated about it.
Chris said the wrong thing. He said, you talked me into it. So hopefully
you showed me the light.
Well, hopefully I asked the right questions.
That's right.
Because like in the end, keeping it, selling it, it's your decision.
Yeah.
There have been many a day that if there was a dog that said rental property, I'd want to kick the dog and put him out in the backyard. Mm-hmm. And my rental property's like, oh my God, here we go again. Mm-hmm. Rental properties are not work. Mm-hmm. They are work.
Yeah.
Buy stocks, bonds, get a statement in the mail. Great. That's necessary. Get a life insurance policy. That's necessary. Buy rental property, not for the faint of heart. Mm-hmm. I think the statistic is 11% of Americans own rental property.
Okay.
11%. So 1 in 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you look up, you know this as a fellow rental property guy, a great tenant's worth their weight in gold.
Yeah.
When they don't call you for 12 months, awesome. But when it's not awesome, you and I have scars of stories. And so I think that's what people gravitate to.
Yeah.
So in the book, Never Sell Your First Home, chapter 3 is, hey, you did all this stuff to buy it as yours. You've lived in it. You know the neighbors. You know that the upstairs bathroom has a weird little faucet thing that keeps breaking. You know that in the backyard, that when it rains really hard, there's a pile. Yeah, you know all this stuff. If you actually went and bought a first rental property and then like put renters in and they start calling you, hey man, there's some really screwed up things in this house. You're like, oh God, what did I do? I've got to fix that. But when it's your house and you're vacating it, the financing's already set up. We just have to figure out the next move, and you know all the neighbors. That's when the ingredients become a lot easier to, hey, I'll hire a property manager, or you know what? I'll do it myself. I always tell people this. If you want to do it yourself, put the ad in Zillow rents, let them call. And when they call, just say, hey, who are you? Well, I was calling about the home on 123 Brookmead. Okay, cool. Like I see Chris. Like, what do you do, Chris? Like, interrogate them. Yeah. And if they go, well, wait a minute, is this a property management company? You go, no, I'm the owner. I ask all the questions.
Okay.
Why do you want to live in Green Hills? What does your wife do? How many kids? Do you have dogs? How big are they? Do you have bad credit? If I looked at your car, is it dirty? Are you a mess? By the way, you're not a licensed realtor. You can ask anything you want.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. Am I allowed to ask that stuff? Yeah,
you're not. No, you own the house. Now, I don't think you can get, by the way, I've never asked someone their ethnicity, their religion, but I'm going to ask them about their finances. I'm going to ask them, hey, if I interrogate your last landlord, what's he going to say?
Okay.
And hey, why are you here? You're responding, my condo's awesome. It's, the rent's $4,900. What do you do?
Yeah.
How much do you make? Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, the best tenants, hey, I'm moving, Chris. Yeah, I'm coming down from Chicago. I'm with a firm. I'm a consultant. They're paying me on a salary. What's the salary? $300,000 plus a override. I really need to find a place. Me and my fiance. Oh, cool. You're getting engaged. If that's your first entry into being a landlord and you ask all the right questions, which we've listed the questions in the book to ask, then it's like, great. People respond much better to an owner asking direct questions than, this is Sheila at ABC Property Management. Oh, what are you calling about? Oh, yeah, that condo. Hold on a second. Let me go drag a cigarette out back, and then I'll have you fill out an application.
Yeah.
Like, you're the owner. And so I tell people, you could do that. I'll try to help you do that. By the way, I was thinking when I wrote the book, hey, why not start a management company to help people do this? We did that for a half a minute. I was like, no, thanks. Like, I can only manage my own rentals and my kids and, get managed by my wife. Like I can't be a property manager for other people. So the key is this: if the ingredients work and people are willing, then this book kind of gives you the steps to take. And after that, it's like the stories have been incredible. I've had this one girl, she moved to Japan. And it was just this crazy story where I think now every year that goes by, it was probably 2014, and she's in the book. She's one of the case studies in the book. I would say her place has like gone from like 275 to 700,000. She teaches English in Japan. She's got a property in Denver. She was moving here. She kept the property here. She moved to Japan. Her dad wanted her to sell the home in Denver. And then he was holding money over her head.
Oh.
And then it was this volatile situation. And she asked me, what do I do? And I go, do you want to sell it? She said, no, it's in the best school district. She was a therapist for public schools in Denver. And I go, don't put a sign in the yard. The minute you land, walk to your credit union in Denver and tell them you want a home equity line on the house. She calls me 12 minutes later, did it? And I said, how fast can they get it? She said, they think my credit's an 800. They can get it in 2 weeks. Great. How much are they going to get you? $75,000. Good. We don't need that. Cool. And she made enough money with her offer here to use the money from the equity line, not even rent her place because her mortgage. And then we bought here. And she literally like double middle fingered her dad, like, hey, dad.
Wow.
No more. And that house at the time, she was going to list at $275 and she owed like $130.
Wow.
It's worth $600. Wow. This was 2013, 2014. And I mean, she credited me. She was like, listen, if I hadn't met you, and here's the funny part, and this is true. A lot of people, and if you're listening, if you keep your original home, if you decide to do this, or if you ever, teach your kids to do it, it's the home you could move back to.
That's what I tell Roxanne all the time. I'm like, if all this blows up, we can go back to the condo.
Right, because it was the original one that was good enough.
And I liked it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you're like, hey, that neighbor still lives across the street. Oh, that one died. Oh, man, I remember him. You're back home.
It's kind of like a really good worst case scenario pit stop, if that's the worst thing that happens, you're in good shape.
Yeah. So there are 2 more books I've got to write. Well, there's 3 more books to write, Chris.
What are they?
One is Never Sell Your Last Home.
Okay.
For people that need a reverse mortgage or a flex pay loan.
Yeah.
When they're older, well, you don't have to sell it to go move into a nursing home. You can do a reverse mortgage where you stop making payments. Your mortgage accrues a balance. No, reverse mortgages have a pretty bad stigma in the 80s, 90s. They were kind of advertised on TV, the Fred Thompsons, Tom Sellecks, and the Henry Winklers at night. It's a standardized product now. So Never Sell Your Last Home. It'll be a shorter book. Then Never Sell Any Home would be a case study on just keeping real estate in general.
Mm-hmm.
I've owned 52 properties. I own 24 right now.
Wow.
So the idea was, what if I had kept all 52? Now I'd probably have wrinkles and no hair, but I wanted to kind of write the idea of, if you're out there acquiring real estate and you have a day job, why would you ever sell it? Because it's creating income, and over time it would be paid for. And then you could be like that old guy in the white pickup truck.
That's right.
Just collecting rents.
Yep.
And then there's one other book called Buy Your Kid a Home in College. So Buy Your Kid a Home in College was designed. My dad bought my brother a townhome at Virginia Tech in 1983 or 84. My dad passed away. My mom still owns it. She gets rental income. I think he bought it for $79,000. It's worth like $250,000. The income's like $1,100 a month. And that's averaged over the year, because in the summer the kids, it's the closest condo to campus. My brother went to Tech, and anyways, anytime I saw a dad or a mom buying our son moved to Boston College and he's a sophomore, and we were thinking it's really expensive, so we want to. Anytime I saw those scenarios, so here's true story. My one son SMU but dropped out. We were looking in Dallas. Our other son's here at Lipscomb, and then my youngest is still in high school. But let's say my youngest in high school decides to go to South Carolina. I'd probably start toying with the idea of, well, if he's going to stay there for 4 years. Yeah. And true story, my old boss, his son came to Vanderbilt. He was looking, and Dean's a very wealthy, love Dean. He calls me and he goes, Vanderbilt rent's expensive. And I'm coming down. I'm looking in this area, 12 South. So we were looking over on just all the cross streets right there close. Yeah. He found this place. It was $495, Chris. Wow. This was 2017.
Wow.
Anyways, I said, Dean, buy it, put $100,000 in it. I've got a contractor. I'll help. You're up in Virginia. Let's do it. I mean, him didn't pull the trigger on it. every year his son, because his son stayed here for graduate school.
Oh.
And I was like, Dean, that house is now $1.3 million, $1.4 million. And he's like, yeah, at the time it wasn't a good decision. And I was like, Dean, yeah, listen. So that's buy your kid a home in college would be a fun book to write. And then the idea for me with the books is really just put it out there. If it's quality, if I focused on just writing those books, I kind of want them to come to me. And the Never Sell Your First Home, it was so overdue that I was like, I've got to write now.
Yeah.
These other books, I know I could write them, start them. I wouldn't want to ghost write them. So those are just ideas. Maybe all of those are just put into one thesis. It would be like a couple hundred pages and it would be the complement book. But,
that's cool.
Yeah. So, books are fun, but I love teaching it. And then the idea of living it and kind of looking at it and going, hey.
Well, you're walking your talk.
Yeah. Well, where did you make the mistakes? Because all of this in the end, if I'm acting like, hey, I know it all, I definitely don't. The mistakes made are half the journey. And just like you coaching, it's like there's some things that don't work and you're like, hey, I'm not going to do that next time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate you being here today, man. That was good. And guys, what I appreciate about Brendon is he's you can tell he's got a ton of passion about what he does. And in his industry, so many of the folks are just mundane, checking boxes, whatever. And I think what gravitates people to him is he still likes it. And he likes it enough to share it in a variety of platforms. And he's a magnet. And I would suspect that his business is just about 100% referral at this point. And I know everybody I send him loves him. He's definitely walked me through some challenging stuff as well. And I think the point here is, you hear all these people say, do what you're passionate about. I think that's a lot of hogwash. I mean, do what you're good at. And if you're really good at it and get the reps in, you're going to become passionate about it. Yeah. And I think that's probably your case. And you just got good at it. You got so many reps in.
No one said, Brendon, when you graduated college, mortgage originator? Like, dude, it's amazing. Yeah. This was the dropout job. Right. Like I started on Wall Street and hated it. Yeah. And then my cousin was in the mortgage business. I didn't know there was a T in mortgage. I didn't even know what it was.
Well, that's good. Well, I certainly appreciate you being here today, guys. Lots of lessons here. Go pick up the book, and if you're needing help with your purchasing needs, he is the guy. He's never let one of my clients down ever. And
thank you for that, Chris, and thank you for doing this, because I think in a world of people where coaching is so baked, you are walking your talk with the clients that you've sent and watching you. It's just the same thing you just said about me. You're passionate at what you do. You're awesome at it. And like the world needs more of you.
Well, I appreciate that.
And this.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thanks,
brother. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this episode, tell everybody and download it and subscribe. If you hated it, don't tell anybody. And we'll see you next time. Well, guys, that's a wrap for today. We thank you a ton for listening and looking forward to the next episode, where we'll continue this journey on how becoming corporate enough can put you in your highest productivity zone to create a successful, profitable, and purpose-driven business for you.